Welcome to another episode of Grade Pending. It's your boy Paulie the Bull, and today we got Otto, Michelle, Jared, and John. And now we're going to talk about the series or season one. They'll figure it out later if this is it or not. Obi Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. And as always, to talk about it, we have to talk about it, so there will be spoilers if you have not seen it. Watch it first and then come back if you care. If not, watch us and thanks for watching. All that good stuff. And we're gonna do our independent, individual reviews and then come back and talk about it as a group. So let's start with the individual reviews.
Right, so,
like I said,
going into it, I'm not gonna lie. As a Boba Fett fan, I was sad at how bad that season went. Um, you know, it was. Even I'll admit it was terrible until Mando showed up, and even then, it still wasn't great. Although Cad Bane was dope. Anyway, going into it, I wasn't too hyped. I'm not a big Obi-Wan Kenobi fan, and on top of that, he took out my other favorite, Darth Maul. So I was like, all right, well, straight hateration over here. But I still want to give it a chance. I still watched it. I thought it to me, it did a real Marvel spin where, like, to me, Mando took off. Mando season 1, Mando season 2, they took off. Marvel is usually slow starting. This one, I thought 1 and 2 was kind of, I didn't really like it. I did like Third Sister. I thought she was doing a good job because she made you hate her. So I thought she was doing a good job. I liked her. And also, before the Star Wars fans come for me, I am well-versed in the Star Wars universe because not only have I watched all the movies now, all of them, and I've watched the entire Clone Wars, I've also played all the Lincoln games. So I know where Third Sister comes from. I like her character. She's badass. She's actually one of my more favorite ones. I guess I'm meant to be a Sith. I lean more towards darker characters anyway. But anyway, watching it, I wasn't blown away. I heard someone be like, oh, it's the second best. There's not much competition. There's only 3 Star Wars shows. Mando's amazing. Boba Fett sucks, so obviously it's number 2. But I thought it was all right. I wasn't in love with it. I do have things I still have to learn about Star Wars overall. There are questions I have, like, I hit you up, Paul, I hit Otto up. I was asking questions because things didn't make sense to me, but I was literally asking questions to understand. Like, I wasn't making a joke or joking on it. I was trying to understand because I didn't get certain things. But overall, there was some stuff I had to Google and I found out and I understood. But overall, I didn't mind it. It wasn't bad. Because Obi found his balls at the end of the season, I am hyped for season 2 if they do it, because Obi at the end of the season, that was the guy I know that took out Darth Maul. Like, that was, that was the fighter. Through the rest of the time, he's just like, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm not a Jedi. Give up on his own beliefs and shit. I didn't really get that. I didn't understand why he would give up on his beliefs and shit. Like, I get the kids hiding and all this shit. I don't understand Third Sister going after the kids when she herself was scarred as a kid. I'm kind of confused on that part. So I enjoyed it. There wasn't a part where I was like, oh, I gotta watch this shit. Like, I still enjoyed watching it, but I wasn't as in love as with Mando. I did enjoy it more than Boba, but Boba was washed. So before I'll go more in depth when we have our whole group argument. But for now, I'll go with a very high meh.
All right, I'm gonna go with a really high dope for this one. At first I was a little bit, obviously, because me as a Star Wars fan, I was trying to figure out where this fell into. So I was like, all right, this has to be, when I figured out it was between 3 and 4. I guess the character development for, like, Leia, obviously she annoyed me. I was like, fuck this little kid. Like, fuck this little kid. She was fucking getting Obi in trouble. I was just like, fuck this bitch. But then obviously I know she fucking survived. So I'm just like, I can't fucking get in my feelings. I feel like even Obi just kind of like giving up on his beliefs and stuff like that was kind of like, come on, man. Like you had Master Yoda with you, fucking. I just blanked out. Fucking, who's Liam Nielsen, whatever his fucking name is, fucking train. Like, come on, like you're with the best of the best Jedis, and you're over here giving up. Definitely, like I said, I enjoyed it. I think the last episode definitely gave me chills. When he was fighting with Darth, I was just like, oh shit, like he's getting his strength back. It was, like I said, overall definitely a high dope. I hope they do have a part 2 for it, kind of like Mando. I do believe when it comes to these Star Wars series, Mando's obviously gonna be my top. Obi's gonna come second. Boba's gonna come in last for me. But overall, I definitely did enjoy it.
The it was a great show for me. I loved it. I'm gonna keep it real brief on that one. It's the timeline between Order 66, Kenobi's life between Order 66 and New Hope. Last Hope. Sorry, New Hope. But it's you see a lot of conflict between Owen and Ben. You don't really don't see that in the Luke Skywalker years because a lot of things happened in that time. But he didn't want him to be like his father, and that was what scared him the most. And Ben conflicted with that a lot. So you saw the conflict with that. You saw Ben's power kind of like regain itself towards the end. That was amazing to see him have an actual forced battle with Darth. And a lot of things that link from this show link into to the 70s and 80s movies, because then you start to see like why Darth says certain things or why certain things happen. And if they do a season 2, it's basically just going to be the time after that and just showing how Obi-Wan began to learn his training with Qui-Gon. And I really don't see I really don't need to see Taken guy outside of his hologram version, his hologram part that was in the last few seconds. But it was a great show for me. I want to say it's a high dope for me. I want to say awesome. I probably want to say awesome, but I'm just going to say it's a high dope for me.
All right, Kenobi. Right. It's kind of disappointing because this is my most hyped Star Wars show since, obviously, I guess since Mando, because fucking Boba Fett sucked except for the Mando episodes. This just should have been shorter. I'm sure we'll get into it as when we talk as a group. First episode was strong. Second episode was strong. Baby Leia, I was like, oh, this is what they're doing. Okay. The best part of the prequels, in my opinion, was Ewan McGregor, and the fact that they were doing a show about Ewan McGregor, and then now they got Baby Leia. Looks like they got a competent actress, cute as shit. This is gonna be great. And then episode 3 and 4 happened. And oh my god! And I was like, oh, what are we doing here? They take Leia, they find Leia, they take Leia, they find Leia. Leia like And then the last episode, great fights. Anakin half helmet, that was cool. I don't know, man. I don't think enough of the highs. There weren't enough highs to push this into the dope area. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to settle with high meh. There's two things I want to see again, which is the Vader fight, which was cool because it was done well. But besides that, it was forgettable. Like this should have been fucking sick, and it was meh.
So, all of the Disney Plus shows always talk about their 6 episodes and how that 6th episode kind of, makes and breaks the season. To me, I don't feel like the 6th episode thing should be predetermined. I feel like they need to see what the story is and determine from there how many episodes it requires. For example, this show didn't need 6 episodes at all. So some people said 6 episodes is too short, but I feel like for this specific story that they wanted to tell, it was too long. A lot of filler in the middle. And you can tell they basically made the Obi Wan Kenobi story just for the episode 6. It was like they started out on a dartboard or on a chalkboard and said, okay, there's going to be an epic Darth Vader Obi Wan Kenobi fight. Now, how do we get to this point? And at that point, it was just monkeys picking names out of a hat to figure out, all right, Inquisitors, this stuff, Baby Leia, all right, just to get to the fight. So wasn't enough highs, as Otto said. The first 2 episodes I thought started off on a good track. I didn't mind, young Leia. I think she was kind of the highlight in those early episodes. The middle episodes, she was used wrong. She was kind of the MacGuffin or what have you of those middle episodes, which it was the same thing. She got kidnapped, got to find her. She got kidnapped again, we got to find her. It was like, all right, we could have shortened that down. This could have been a 2-hour movie at best. they could have chopped the whole Inquisitor storyline out completely, and it would have probably flowed a little better because the character Reva, her motive made no sense. We knew from episode 1 off the rip that when they showed the younglings, and we were like, why are they showing them? Then we see her. Oh, okay, she was her. Got it. But her purpose, her mission, her her reasoning for what she did throughout the show made no sense. She did all of it to kill Darth Vader, but then when she couldn't kill Darth Vader, she found out that there's a kid on Tatooine that has the Force. I'm gonna go kill him. I'm not really sure who this kid is or why, but it just made no sense. And then when she saw the kid, she's like, well, I can't kill him. I see myself in him. I don't get it. Could have saved it. And the fact that, like we said, to get to the final fight was the purpose of the show. Chopping up the final fight with Reva going to get Luke made the fight. It's like, oh, this fight is great. Oh, they cut to that scene. Okay, oh, back to the fight. Oh, the fight. Oh, back cut to that. Stay on the fight. Let the fight be for the finale. We didn't need the Reva stuff. I wish I could edit that part out. Maybe make a great show out of it. So, unfortunately, it was a show I felt like we didn't need when they first, announced it. But I gave it a chance, and at the end of it, I feel like we didn't need it. And if I'm gonna watch anything over again, I'll just watch episode 6 over again. That was the only one worth it. So, man, Star Wars, figure it out.
I guess the Feige check didn't clear. Does this not count? Does Feige not do this? What's going on here?
Well, Feige's not Star Wars yet.
That's what it is. Okay.
Makes sense.
But
makes sense.
the Disney check, they like I said, I didn't mind the 6 episode, thing that they have. It's just like
it just wasn't necessary.
Yeah, for this one, I felt like they do a better job, but they cram in a lot of the other shows. This one, it was like they stretched to get to the episode 6.
I think it's just because of the character, because it's fucking Obi, so they feel like he needed more time. But
he didn't have more time. They jumped to third sister, this, that, Inquisitors.
I think they're trying to build
the. I'm just saying, like the storyline itself. Like
he could have got a movie. Solo got a movie. We didn't need that Han Solo movie. He could have got a movie. We didn't need the Obi Wan Kenobi movie anyway. We didn't need.
They might have just been trying to build a Reba TV show. Like there's like a backdoor pilot for.
And I'm not looking forward to that at all.
It might be an Inquisitors show that they're trying to get to, or something instead of lore of that. But
I do want to shout out
that
you had the dude from Fast and Furious, the Asian kid playing one of the Inquisitors. I thought that was dope. Han. He played one of the Inquisitors. That was kind of cool. I actually, to Paul's point earlier, I didn't bring up. I did like the girl who played Leia. I thought she had a good job.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out Paul. If you could like screenshot and edit it in, I did like the fact of that special, really strong tree branch that blocked that dude in the first episode. He's trying to grab the girl, and this tree branch stops him. Like he could have fucking like.
His name is Flea. His name is Flea, and he's a Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Red Hot Chili Pepper.
Goddamn respect on his name, John. God damn it.
How you not know Flea?
If it was fucking DMX, you'd be like, "Oh shit, a Force Ghost."
First of all,
I said Force Ghost. I said Force
back.
Ghost.
I'll go back. I know Flea, but I don't believe it was Flea who got stuck by the tree branch. I believe it was the alien looking one who got stuck by the tree branch.
Fair play.
I was just
a boring episode. You might be right.
Boy Flea. I was just gonna go in and say shout out to my boy Flea for playing a character one of the bounty hunters. But it was the alien looking dude who got stuck by the tree branch, bitch ass little tree branch. That shit was the size of the girl's arm. He could have broke through that shit. And she was like, "Oh no, a tree branch! I can't get her." Come on, but I'm not surprised because Star Wars always has terrible CGI and blocks and issues and stuff. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I'm glad that even the Star Wars fans gave it made, because I thought I was gonna be like a hater by giving it made. But even the Star Wars fans gave it made, so I feel a little better.
And also, I didn't mention it, but the CG,
the CG, especially in the scene where they flew in with the two little ships to save them, it looks so bad the way they just zoom in and then hover right there, and
just the backgrounds are so fucking plain and wide. And I know it's not, they can't go to space, but it's just
right. They use the the Unreal Engine LCD screens to do all that stuff now, but
I was also a hater. I'm not gonna lie. In the last episode, when like she's ready to kill or try to get Luke, and this dude he senses it, he pulls up, he whips his shit hyperspace, and I'm like, yo, if you're gonna get there, get to the planet, land to the exact spot, on time or in the same time, I'm calling bullshit. This is
And
dumb.
that's another thing. How did she get there so fast? And I mean, me and Otto was talking about that before.
Rocket
How did
boots.
she get to the so fast? And they were in space like dodging bullets.
Well,
And
we
then-
did see her doing parkour in an earlier episode. So.
Oh, okay.
Parkour.
Okay, so hyperspace parkour, and then Vader could have followed Obi-Wan by himself, and the Inquisitors could have shot that other ship down, and the other movies never happened. But that would have been a smarter thing to do instead of Vader saying, "No, follow him," and then when he get there, all right, now prepare my ship. Fam, we could have dropped you off.
It just seems like such a waste of talent.
Like, we could have dropped you off a long time
I was
ago.
gonna say that. I was gonna say that. One of Star Wars' biggest
Ice Cube,
characters.
son.
Bomb.
Yeah, but you had Ice Cube. No, I just mean like they had a new character. You had Ice Cube's son. You had fucking this kid whose name I forget who did the steroids, whose jaw's all jacked now. Indian dude. Someone help me.
Camille Nanjiani?
Camille. Yeah, he's the fucking.
He's popping
man.
up everywhere.
Yeah,
Disney stuff.
but I'm saying there was potential to create like interesting new characters where stuff would happen that would make sense, but it kind of just like meh.
Yeah.
Meh. Ice Cube's son was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna help you. Fuck you." And then 2 seconds later was like, "All right, bro, whatever you need, dog, I got you. Don't sack her for no reason." Like,
I was telling. Oh, go on, John.
Now, I was saying, in my opinion, if Boba didn't suck so hard, this would be the worst of them, out of my opinion. You got lucky.
I think Boba Fett series was better because of the Mando episodes.
Anakin. That
The
Anakin moment
Mandalorian
with the half face was
episodes,
fucking
the
sick.
Mandalorian episodes saved the Boba Fett season. So
100%.
I think the Boba Fett season is better than Obi-Wan.
I'm agreeing with you, but we would agree Obi's a bigger character in the Star Wars universe than
That's
Boba
irrelevant.
Fett.
We're talking about this specific series,
So
not
he
just the
deserves
character,
better.
the
He
series.
deserves better. Obi deserves
Oh,
better.
I mean, I agree. They didn't need to make this at all. That was me going into it. When they announced it, I said they didn't need to make an Obi-Wan show. They didn't need it, and so he does what he deserved for them to leave it alone. It's like making this was a cash grab.
Now, are we being salty little, like ingrates? Because at the end of the day, we did just get 6 episodes where we got to see Darth Vader do some crazy shit. And most people think this Star Wars this amount of Star Wars content didn't exist back then. Back then it was 6 years, then you got to wait.
Had comic books though.
I know, but like for
video games.
I think for the mass, I think we're a little bit more into it than the average consumer. They might have dug the show besides the Reva stuff where there was the racial stuff and that became a whole thing. I don't know.
I think it was. I think they focused more on, like I said, they focused more on the fight and the reunion and that the flashback in the fight. It was like we need a reason for Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor to appear again. We'll figure the story out later. Don't worry about that. But we're gonna film some scenes where they fight and stuff, and we're gonna do. That was epic. That was awesome when they had Hayden Christensen and James Earl Jones' voice synthesized together.
Yeah,
that was cool. That was great. But we've also seen that before. When Ahsoka cut off half his mask, for those that did watch Rebels and stuff. But it was nothing really new. Still, it was just in live action. So they wanted a live action reason to have Hayden and Ewan back. And then they said, "Oh yeah, we need a story too." I guess saying like it was a waste. It was really a waste. It was a cash grab. Like I guess you can't even call it a cash grab because
did this need Grogu? Would Grogu have put this over? Yeah.
Well, that was Little Leia. Little Leia was the Grogu for this.
Oh gosh, she fucking annoyed me.
I don't know how. She was great. She was the highlight.
No,
she just annoyed me.
I do.
As a mother, she annoyed me. I'm like, bitch, just listen to fucking Obi. Why are you not listening to me?
Because she's a strong-willed, independent woman who's trying to defend herself.
Listen, women have no rights now. Okay, let's not get into that shit.
So then let her use her rights.
Exactly. You're making no point. Exactly.
You're saying Leia should have been aborted? What are we saying right now? The twins should have never happened.
This show's going
never happened.
So, besides the fact that Luke and Leia tried to kiss, which is weird. My thing is also
they didn't know.
As a Star Wars hater, like the Darth Vader thing.
My problem is that
a lot of I never look at my fucking name. I never lied about it. I don't hide it.
Okay.
I don't do like
running a red MAGA hat.
But anyway, here's a 2021 Vision hat. Thank you, Paul. But anyway,
you can get those on 21vision.com.
But besides that, my thing with Darth Vader is I've always hated because Sometimes you'll see Clash and the fan made things and they've always made Darth Vader such a big character And I'm like, from watching the movies, the way I watched the movies, because I started 1, 2, 3. I didn't start like everyone else did, 4, 5, and 6. I'm like, but bro, he lost to Luke. Like, there's
But
more
that's the
powerful than
reason
Luke.
why.
He lost to Luke.
If
So-
you don't watch it 4, 5, 6 first, you're not watching it correctly.
Also, to John's point,
I don't agree.
No. To
You don't
your
have
point,
to. You're wrong.
no, John, your point about the
Oh,
fucking
don't even bother.
Vader being imposing and shit. Like,
We're talking about the 70s and 80s.
does this man's voice still work? James Earl Jones. I'm happy he's still alive, but does it still work as Vader? Since we know it's Anakin and it's weird that it's.
But that's the point. But that's the point I was getting to. When you don't watch it in order, or you watch it later on, you know too much. You're not getting Vader when there's only those movies to go off of in that time frame.
But even in the 4, 5, and 6, he's not an imposing threat.
You watched it in the 2000s. You've seen Thanos. You've seen other villains to compare him to. At that time, he was the ultimate badass.
Well, see, this is where I would disagree. I don't think anyone.
You can't. Your disagreement doesn't matter. You did not watch it back then. You have nothing to go off of.
You said he's the Rock.
Born yet, so neither did you. You weren't born yet, so neither did
I
you.
watched it in the 90s. I watched it in the
didn't know who
80s
Thanos
when
was in
the
the
sequels
90s?
out. No,
You
I
didn't know
did
who
not
Thanos
watch
was in
them
the 90s?
in theater. No.
You didn't know who Thanos was. You didn't know who. Galactus
That's
was,
my
you didn't know who Darcy
point.
was
There
in the
was no
90s?
other bad guy to go off of. That's my
I knew who they were
point.
in the 90s. I knew who Thanos was in Darcy in the 90s.
I
knew who
didn't.
Galactus was in the 90s.
I didn't.
And they would
You've
fuck up
seen him
Avengers.
on the big screen. We're talking about movies. We're talking about movies. And
Maybe
as far
he
as
was wrapped up in
movies go,
comics and he was in movies. It's
as
two
far as
different
movies
things.
go, Darth Vader was the ultimate movie badass. There was nothing to compare him to. There was no other comparison. For generations, he was the ultimate bad guy until you got like other things later on to compare him to. So you saying that now is the point because you have other movie villains to compare him to with CGI and all of the other things. You had, the T-1000s to go off of and things like the other villains came up and they were, it was always a competition of who is the ultimate villain. And that's when it started to become a thing. Star Wars kind of created that thing of the ultimate villain in those sci-fi movies.
All right, but now we're in 2022. Does Vader still hold up? I don't think he does.
That's my point.
No.
That's my point.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. He does not hold up now because there's more competition to compete with. That's what I just said.
So then why are we having this show? Not your show, but like the Kenobi show.
That's what I also said. We did not need. I just said that. We did not need this show, and that goes to the point of why I had to give it a meh, because as epic as that final fight was in Episode 6, we all know
what's going to happen next.
Yeah, there was no stakes.
But my thing was like. So me and you were saying the same thing. The only difference I'm saying is Vader was badass in the 90s because there was no comp. It's easy to be number one when there's no competition.
Okay.
So watching him in order doesn't mean anything. There was no competition to defeat him anyway.
No, that's two different points. It's two different points.
There was no comp. You're number one when there's no competition.
Correct. So
but
he held that crown for years.
Because there was no competition.
The movie order is a whole other. That's a whole other point that I'm making. But as far as the badass goes, yes, he was the ultimate badass. He set the tone. He's the OG. And he held that crown for a long time. That to make other ultimate badass. He's the reason other movie franchises had to do that. He's when they talk about.
We agree that Reba should have died when she got stabbed in Episode 5.
Facts, yo.
Nobody does. Remember the lightsaber cauterizes your cuts.
That's another thing, though. How badass is Anakin as a killer if he couldn't even kill a child from the beginning? And she couldn't. He couldn't. Didn't he have sense? He couldn't sense that she's still alive.
Lightsabers cauterize your cuts.
He knew it was her.
Didn't he sense
it?
Cauterize your cuts.
Look, even Darth Maul came back. You can't explain that.
Nobody dies from lightsabers.
Yes, he knew that the older girl was her, but he should have known then that this child's not dead because he has that way to sense it.
Lightsabers cauterize cuts. Nobody dies from a lightsaber cut, from a stab. You've seen that.
What?
What?
The child was stabbed in the chest with a lightsaber, bro. It's a child.
It cauterizes your cuts.
But the Order 66, they all died. He chopped them all down. The kids are dead. Besides this little fucking fuck got away.
He just stabbed her. He didn't slice her in half. He just stabbed her.
In a non-grabber way, he didn't just stick the tip in. He put it through her.
My God.
Cauterized
she's a child. She was a baby child.
Nobody dies from stabs from a lightsaber when the script says so.
You're saying by your logic, just because it cauterized the...
Not my logic. The script.
But all right, so by the script, it cauterizes the front and back wound. But what about the lightsaber that went through her chest, inside?
It wasn't in her chest. It was in her gut.
in her gut internally.
And she
Wiped the
had,
stomach out.
and then he opened up the same wound when he did it again, and she went to Tatooine.
He's saying
Terrible.
she got it patched up, John. The
Terrible.
script says she got it patched up.
Yes.
We all
That's
agree
that-
it was.
That's
this
that quick loose hole. Like,
Wasn't that Red Solo
she
Cup?
survived because we made this.
Water.
I just didn't
I'm
like the
joking.
fact that Roken's name is too close to Token. Because he was a token black guy now in our whole group. There
No, there was other black people.
Well, there was a
Reed was
Haja.
black.
was a Haja.
See,
Bro, one
Reed
of
was
the
black.
character was black. Third
She
sister
came
was
black.
black, and she was a tough
Yeah.
girl.
Depends on who you ask. She was kind of.
Billy D. Williams. You know, we got a couple black people in the galaxy.
Mace Windu,
Mace Windu, you know what I'm
She
saying? We
did her
got-
job, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know about her because I didn't play the games.
She's not in the games. Nobody knows about her. She's a
Someone
new
told me
character.
she was part of the games, but
No,
anyways,
she's not from the
She's
games.
actually a big
I'm
character in
letting
the
you
games.
know what
She's
I
not from
was
the games.
told. So my
Do I-
thing
do-
is that
Hold on. Do I have the Star Wars school Paul? She's actually a huge character in the games.
Which game?
Fallen Order. Huge character in the game. She has a very big
No,
importance.
that's ninth sister. She's third
Yeah,
sister.
that's
It's different.
my sister. That's
Yeah,
not. That's not my
different sister.
In the first Fallen Order, you have third sister who dies, and then you have
Different sister. She's not in the game.
Not in that game.
She's not in the game. And he beat it.
back to what I was saying.
Jared finished the game. She's not in that game. She's a
So,
brand new character for the show.
what I was
But Jared
saying,
played her on
when I
easy.
saw her,
Jared didn't
I
get the
was
real
like,
answer.
no. When I saw her, and I'm like, yo, why is she so obsessed with Obi? Like, bitch, let him go. Like, if he didn't want you, bitch, like, just let him go. But I mean, obviously, as a joke. But like to me, like she played her role right. She made me hate her, kind of like Joffrey and like fucking Game of Thrones. Like I was like, yo, this bitch needs to fucking die. Like,
Why'd you hate her?
I don't know. I
Racist.
just,
Exactly. So she
Michelle's
didn't do a job.
racist.
what?
She didn't do a job. You didn't know why you hated her.
No,
she's
because
black.
she was too obsessive. That's what it was. She was too obsessive trying to get Obi. Like
Her
like,
motive was pointless. We don't know
Right.
if she wanted Obi. She wanted Darth Vader. We don't know
Oh,
what she
she-
wanted.
right, like that's what I'm saying. Like she wanted.
I'm
like
just happy we all agree the show was pointless. I'm happy about that.
The show.
Well,
should not
only
have
three
been
of us
made,
agree that.
period. The show should have been made, but her.
Isn't that democracy? We're in America. Three majority rules.
All right.
Wow.
Sorry, Michelle, you can have abortion.
Her whole
I
motive
know,
was
it's okay.
her whole motive was
That's
just
kick.
her whole thing was, Anakin was Obi's Padawan. She was mad at Obi, and she also wanted to lure him together so that way she can try to kill both of them. That's really what her motive was. It was a terrible motive. I'll say that.
So are we excited for the future of Star Wars on Disney Plus?
You mean Mando season 3? Yes. That's probably it.
Do we have a time frame on that? Paul, you muted yourself.
Paul, can't hear you.
He enough of his lies caught up that it muted him. Now he can't. Oh, I guess
That's
it
why
was
he
the
checked
third
really
sister
come through. They
after
cut the
all.
electric in the house. That's why he checked really come through.
Hello.
Looks like
Hello.
the third
Can you
sister
hear
was
me?
in the game after all.
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. So yeah, Ahsoka should be good.
You think
Mando
so?
season 3 should be good.
Ahsoka's light.
Oh no, the next one is the one that takes place on with the kid from Rogue One.
Yeah,
The prequel.
that should be good. I mean, it should be.
I don't
It should be
wanna
more
say
action. I think that should be more action, less lightsabers, more.
But ultimately the stakes. We know this motherfucker dies in Rogue One, so why are we watching this show? I don't know. It's weird.
But that's the
I want to
problem.
watch it
They
because
keep trying to
he's a
fill in
Spanish
gaps.
actor. He's good, but
Yeah, they keep playing in the middle of the overall story. They need to at some point advance because the middle there's no stakes at all for
I think
there was stakes when we saw Rogue One because that was a new character. We didn't know what his fate would be. Now we know him, and then this is gonna be a flashback to that. It's like, well, we know his outcome, so they removed all the stakes. But I think the show could be good because it's gonna be more grounded. Not a lot of Jedi and lightsabers and Force, but it could be
Like all
it'll
the
be
things
like
people care about in Star Wars.
What?
yeah, that'd be weird.
Like all the things people care about in Star Wars, lightsabers and Jedi, and that's what everyone cares about.
Well, there was no, not really, because Mando really didn't have that in it.
Bro, he had the dark saber.
Grogu.
In the end of the first season,
He
didn't.
also
had
had
Ahsoka.
his fucking armor. He had the lasers. He had the guns.
But they're not lightsabers. Again, I said no lightsabers in Force. That's what I said. He doesn't have
Well,
the
that's what
Force,
we
does
care
he?
about.
Does he have the Force?
But people care about that.
But they love Mando, which didn't have the Force.
All right, I'm
I
You just want to argue, John. Damn it, John.
Your computer's gonna mute
You
you
want to
again.
argue.
But we all know if there was no Star Wars, no lightsabers, you guys want to watch the first 4, 5, and 6, so there'd be no movies anyway.
That's
so
not
like I said,
true
everyone cares
either.
about lightsabers.
That's not true.
No one will watch Star Wars if there's no fucking
You
lightsabers
can't
back
say
then. That's
that
the whole
because
thing.
that world doesn't exist. We don't know what the movie would have been without that. You
Excuse
don't
me,
know.
Multiverse of Madness says that
It
world
would have
doesn't
been
exist.
You're creating a what if that we can't answer. You
It would have
don't
been
know.
Dune. It
You
would have
don't
been
know what
Dune.
Star Wars would have been if it would have been a whole nother movie.
It would have been Dune, which it copied off of. It would have been Dune.
You do not know that. George Lucas was high. He was on that stuff, and he wrote this. It is what it is. We got this. You don't know what it would have been elsewise. We don't know. You don't know.
I've never
So
seen
stop
Paul this
arguing,
triggered.
John.
This man is triggered right now.
It's
Like,
Star
stop
Wars. I'm telling
arguing
you,
with everything.
You can't talk to Star Wars people about Star Wars. You can't do
But
it.
no, but you're just arguing invalid points and saying you just disagree with stuff that you can't even prove. I don't think in 1970 something that you don't know. We're in 2022 now.
Well, I was based on
God
the fact
damn it,
that
John.
lightsabers are one of the most popular selling toys, one of the most popular selling costumes. I'm based off of that kind of stuff.
Okay,
That's
but
because we
you
had
can't
that.
change history.
What it would be without that?
Not with that attitude. Build a time machine, John. Let's figure this out.
Right, like you can't change.
Who has a
history.
DeLorean? Let's go
Once
get a
again,
DeLorean.
we have a whole Mandalorian character that went in a different direction and it succeeded. Rogue One was successful without the Jedi and the Force and lightsabers. It succeeded.
All right, we got
They're
2
going
minutes
in
left.
that direction with these other characters,
We got
and
2 minutes
they're
left.
successful.
If they do a Reba, whatever the fuck
I
the name
forgot.
of the show,
Season 2,
will
we
you
don't have a
watch
dark
it?
saber. You're right. I forgot. There's no dark saber season 2.
Real
Hey,
quick,
Otto.
will you watch the Reba show?
I'll watch it because it's Disney Plus, but gotta get my money's worth. I pay my subscription. But now going into it, I have no high hopes.
But look, I mean, for me, it's like Star Wars is always. I mean, like they've made their money about things that happen between, episode 4 and episode 3. You had Clone Wars. You had, even before that. But you had that. You had Fallen Order, the video game. You had a lot of other stuff. You had Mandalorian. So you have a lot of things that have gone on in between and so forth. So I mean, they do need to have more progressive thought about what is life past Lord Sidious and all this other stuff. Like,
You don't think they're just out of new ideas?
Whole different universe. And I think they will eventually, but it's going to take time because people still grounded into their own stuff.
They've already announced future Star Wars movies. They've already announced that Taika Waititi is going to get involved. Feige's going to be involved. So yes, they are furthering the story. Right now, they're, I guess, adding these characters to then get to that point. Need to talk more?
I think
No, it got a good man across the board. 3 out of 2.
I'm glad you're happy, sir.
Super happy.
The dark side, Paul. The dark side wins.
I guess. I mean, I agreed. It was irrelevant, but we'll talk more. We got more stuff. I guess we'll be back for Thor, unless I see something else this week, and we'll watch it and talk about it. So,
Watch the
hey,
dinosaurs.